Hi, I'm Tom with Sundance Spa, Minnesota's #1 pool and spa company. Today, I'm going to show you how to get familiar with your new Sundance 880. The first step in starting your hot tub is getting it full of water. We do have a special way we'd like you to do this. So the first thing is going to be removing the filter. You'll notice it's laying horizontally, and on the right-hand side, you have a big lock nut. All you need to do is unscrew the nut, tip the filter back, and lift it out. This can be set aside for you. We'd like you to take your garden hose, feed it in to the side that has the lock nut, and fill it through there. That'll ensure that we fill all the lines with water first, burping any air bubbles so that we have a smooth startup and heating process. Once the spa is full of water, we'll want to put the filter back in. Reinstalling it is just as easy as taking it out. Simply slip the filter onto the back of this little port over here. Make sure it's locked in on the far side. Twist the nut just to finger tight, doesn't have to be super crazy, and we're ready to move on to the next step. The next step is to turn the power on to the spa. Next, I'm going to show you how to use your top side. That's what we call the control panel. So first things first, let's get it set to the correct temperature. The negative sign is to go down in temp. The positive sign is to go up. Most people set it between 100 and 104 degrees. This red icon in the upper left-hand side of the screen means that the heater is turned on and the spa is working on heating up to the correct temperature. On the bottom left, we have the button that controls all of the jets. By pressing it once, everything will turn on. By depressing the buttons, we're able to turn the pumps off and designate if we want 1, 2, 3, or all of them on at the same time. On the far right, we have the button that controls our air blower. By turning that on, we're going to release a bunch of small bubbles in the tub, giving you a soft tissue massage. It's also linked to the Sundance aromatherapy port. You'll notice the buttons turn a dark brown color when they're physically turned on. If I press the home button, it'll take me back to the home page. The light bulb is to control the lights, so we can individually pick what color we'd like. So if I pick green, I can have it on a brightness anywhere from 1 to 5, 5 being the brightest. If you want to cycle through a light show, we can go to speed. Once again, anywhere from 1 to 5 will strobe through my light show of all of the colors you see below. On the far right, we have exterior lighting. By pressing it once, the lights are on high intensity. By pressing it twice, they're on low intensity. And by pressing it 3 times, we get into a timer that will stay on for 8 hours. So if you turn it on at noon, it'll turn off at 8 p.m. Anytime you turn it on, it will turn off within an 8-hour time period. If I go back to the home screen again, this water drop button is to turn on the Clear Ray UV Ozone Active Oxygen on Demand. So by pressing it once, it turns on, and my active oxygen system is now running in the hot tub to clean it up so that it's good to go for next time. On the far right of the screen, we have our settings wheel. We don't recommend changing any settings as far as pumps and heater and how they're running, but the water care screen is really helpful. If I open up water care, it'll show me how many days I have left on my UV light bulb, how many days I have left until I should replenish the water, how many days I have left on my micro clean inner filter before it needs to be replaced, and how many days I have left on my micro clean outer filter before it needs to be chemically cleaned. The rest of the settings we don't recommend using, other than if you'd like your circulation pump to run up to 24 hours a day, you would do that through this heat and filter setting. Next, we're going to go over your in-spa controls to customize the massage that you want to get. So you'll notice around the perimeter of the spa, we have both big knobs and small knobs. The big knobs are water diverting. They're going to move water from one seat to another. So turning it all the way to the left, you'll notice full power coming out of one seat and another seat turning on. Vice versa, if we turn it to the right, this seat will turn on and this seat will turn on. If we have it in the middle, we're gonna be sharing water between the two spots, giving an even massage. The small knobs are called air diverters. Every time we turn an air diverter to the right, we're opening it, mixing air in with the back of the jet, giving you a different feeling of massage. You'll notice a knob that looks extremely similar, but slightly different to your air diverter knobs. So all of the air diverters have the small tab on the side. The small knob with no tab is to turn your waterfall either on or off. All the way to the right is closed, all the way to the left is open, and the waterfall will turn on. If you have your waterfall knob in the open position and no water is coming out, you can simply press the Clear On Demand button on your control panel and the waterfall will turn on. Now I'm going to show you how to use the Sundance port on your Sundance 880. So it's a 2-part screw. Take off the top cap. Take off the inner cap. Sundance come in 6 different scents and they're all 2-packs. So remove one of the cartridges. It's important that you take the cartridge out of its plastic sleeve and discard it. The cartridge goes right in the holder, and then we just reinstall everything. The inner cap goes in. This one you want to make sure is screwed down pretty tight. The outer cap goes back on. Now, by turning on the air blower on our control panel, we'll introduce whatever scent we put in. I personally like Pina Colada. Will get introduced into the hot tub. Now I'm going to show you how to drain your Sundance 880 series. Twice a year, you're going to want to drain the water and fill it up with brand new fresh water. The most important part is making sure that the power to the spa is totally turned off before we take any water out of it. After you've turned the power off, you're going to want to remove the front panel, which I'll show you how to do right now. You'll take each corner off, which is easy. The bottom pops out and it drops right down. And the front panel is hanging on, kind of like a tongue and groove on the top. You'll see me lift it from the bottom and swing it up, and the panel will just fall right up. Connected to the right side of your spa is your indicator light. It's a simple press fitting. You just pull the lead out and let it hang. Now that we have the front panel off, I'll show you how to get the drain hose hooked up. You'll notice this big port with the screw cap. So the first thing we're gonna do is unscrew the cap. Set it aside and screw in the drain hose that comes with your spa. If this is your first time doing it, this hose will be zip tied around this valve here. If it's not your first time or after you've removed it, I would recommend rolling it back up and placing it right next to the drain so that you don't lose it for next time. So this hose is just gonna screw right in. Once it's screwed in, roll the hose out flat to where you want it to drain in the yard. And then all we're gonna do is twist this handle and pull it up and water will drain out. Now that we've got the spa drain and the drain port all plugged up and put back together, we need to reinstall the panel. So it's the same as taking it off in reverse fashion. So we're gonna start by sliding the top of this panel up into the groove, and you'll feel it kind of click into place when you go to push it down. Now that we have the front panel on, we'll just clip the corners back into place. Now that we have everything put back together, we're ready to refill the hot tub and get back to enjoying it. Performance Pool & Spa would like to thank you again for your recent purchase. Please click the link below to watch the rest of our how-to videos, most importantly, the chemical maintenance video. If you have any more in-depth questions, feel free to call your local Performance Pool & Spa store.